In a development that underscores the far-reaching implications of the Trump administration's foreign aid overhaul, the United States Agency for International Development has begun offering retention bonuses to staff in Kenya and other countries, even as the agency prepares for unprecedented mass layoffs. This seemingly contradictory move reveals the complex challenges facing one of America's most important humanitarian institutions as it undergoes what officials describe as a complete restructuring. The retention incentives being offered to approximately 800 employees stationed in Kenya and other nations carry a stark irony. These bonuses are designed to keep staff until early September 2025, ensuring what agency documents describe as a proper shutdown of operations. The payments, equivalent to 2 months of additional salary, highlight the administration's concern that essential personnel might abandon their posts prematurely, potentially leaving critical programs in disarray. This bonus offer comes against the backdrop of the most dramatic restructuring in USAID history. The Trump administration has moved to reduce the agency's global workforce from over 10,000 employees to just 294, representing a staggering 97% reduction in personnel. In Kenya specifically, this means the virtual elimination of an agency presence that has operated in the country for decades, managing hundreds of millions of dollars in development programs. The timeline of this restructuring has been swift and sweeping. Beginning with President Trump's inauguration, the administration issued a comprehensive freeze on foreign aid that initially placed most USAID staff on administrative leave. By February, the agency had terminated approximately 400 contract employees, affecting departments ranging from HIV and AIDS programs to infectious disease control and child health initiatives. The latest round of layoffs, implemented in late February, eliminated an additional 1,600 positions while placing the majority of remaining full-time staff on administrative leave. For Kenya, these changes represent more than administrative reshuffling. The country has been one of the largest recipients of American development assistance in sub-Saharan Africa, with USAID programs touching everything from healthcare delivery to agricultural development and education initiatives. The agency's work in Kenya has been particularly significant in addressing the HIV epidemic, where American funding has supported testing, treatment, and prevention programs that serve hundreds of thousands of Kenyans. The health sector implications are particularly concerning. Kenya's HIV response has been heavily dependent on American support through programs like PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. Recent assessments indicate that the aid freeze has already resulted in the loss of thousands of HIV health workers across Kenya and neighboring countries, with disruptions to diagnostic and treatment services for pregnant women and children becoming increasingly common. Beyond health programs, USAID presence in Kenya has encompassed food security initiatives, governance programs, and economic development projects. The agency has been instrumental in supporting Kenya's agricultural sector, particularly in helping smallholder farmers adapt to climate change and improve crop yields. Educational programs supported by USAID have reached remote areas of the country, providing resources and training that government budgets alone could not sustain. The retention bonuses being offered to staff reflect the administration's recognition that abrupt departures could leave programs in chaos. Agency officials are reportedly concerned about the potential for critical projects to be abandoned midstream, with no one available to transfer institutional knowledge or ensure proper handover procedures. This concern is particularly acute in countries like Kenya, where USAID operations are deeply integrated with local government initiatives and civil society organizations. The broader context of this restructuring involves the Trump administration's stated goal of redirecting American foreign assistance to align more closely with national security priorities. Administration officials have argued that traditional development aid has been ineffective and that resources should be concentrated on programs that directly benefit American interests. This philosophy represents a fundamental shift from the humanitarian and development-focused approach that has characterized American foreign aid for decades. The implications for Kenya's development trajectory could be profound. The country has been working to achieve middle-income status, with development programs playing a crucial role in building institutional capacity and addressing persistent challenges in health, education, and infrastructure. The sudden withdrawal of American technical assistance and funding could slow progress in these areas, potentially affecting millions of Kenyans who have benefited from USAID-supported programs. Local civil society organizations in Kenya are already reporting significant disruptions to their operations. Many community-based organizations have depended on USAID funding to operate health clinics, educational programs, and agricultural extension services in rural areas. The freeze on aid has forced some of these organizations to reduce services or lay off staff, creating gaps in service delivery that government resources cannot immediately fill. The retention bonuses also highlight the human dimension of this restructuring. USAID staff in Kenya include both American Foreign Service officers and locally hired personnel who have built careers around development work. For local staff, the agency's withdrawal represents not just job losses but the end of professional pathways that have provided stable employment and opportunities for skill development in the development sector. Looking ahead, the long-term consequences of USAID restructuring in Kenya may extend beyond the immediate disruption of programs. The agency has served as a key diplomatic tool, building relationships and goodwill that have supported broader American interests in the region. Kenya has been an important partner in regional security initiatives, and the reduction of American development presence could affect the overall bilateral relationship. The timing of these changes is particularly significant given Kenya's current economic challenges. The country is grappling with high debt levels and ongoing economic reforms, making the loss of development assistance particularly acute. Programs that were helping to build local capacity and reduce dependence on aid may now be interrupted, potentially creating longer-term development setbacks. Former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta has characterized the aid freeze as a wake-up call for African leaders, suggesting that the continent should reduce its dependence on foreign assistance. However, the reality is that many of the programs being discontinued address urgent humanitarian needs that cannot be immediately replaced by domestic resources. As USAID staff in Kenya and other countries weigh whether to accept the retention bonuses and stay until September, they face a unique professional dilemma. The bonuses offer financial security during a period of uncertainty, but accepting them means participating in the systematic dismantling of programs they may have spent years building. For many development professionals, this represents not just a career transition but a fundamental challenge to their professional mission. The broader international development community is watching these developments closely, as they represent the most significant disruption to American foreign aid in decades. Other donor countries and international organizations may need to consider how to fill gaps left by reduced American assistance, though few have the resources to match the scale of traditional USAID programming. The situation in Kenya thus serves as a microcosm of the global implications of American foreign aid restructuring. As the September deadline approaches and staff decide whether to accept retention bonuses, the full impact of these changes will become clearer. What is already evident is that the transformation of USAID represents a historic shift in how America engages with the developing world, with consequences that will be felt for years to come.